Hi everyone, hope you all are good and staying well and safe. My name is Dr. Divya Sharma, and as a part of HSBC's initiative to make your days at home a little more exciting, I am here today to take a session on imagery and mind hacks and how to increase your productivity just by simple mind tweaks. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's see how it goes. Here are a few exercises that I'm going to ask you to do. We'll do it for about 20 to 30 seconds. Try to do these slower initially, and then as you gather control, you try to make it a little more coordinated and try to increase the speed and play with the coordination. So what I'm doing here will basically activate the left brain, which controls the right part of your body, and the right brain, which controls the left part of the body. So when they work together, there's a very good connection of your brain which is activated. So the left brain controls a few different elements which are more technical in aspects, your science, your maths, your techniques while you're playing a sport, or your calculative abilities. Whereas the right brain controls the more creative bits. So your art, your poetry, your crafts, your thinking out of the box and amazing creative ideas, they're all governed by your right brain. If you got more A's, then you are left brain dominant. You are logical, planner, rational, loves puzzle, and an analytical thinker. If you got more B's, then you're right brain dominant. You are creative, intuitive, emotional, you love art, and you're a free thinker. So now imagine when I combine the activity of the two to work together, your productivity in any task will be much more. You will be able to solve the problems much better than what you did. Your brain gets tired because we have been using the same pathways over and over again. If you're a right-handed person, we keep using the same pathway and keep activating the left side. But at the same time, when we are getting our brain to work to its maximum potential, and we want that to happen, we also need to start using our left hand or your non-dominant hand to do a few movements. So you will still ultimately end up doing the same movement as you did in the right. It may take some time, but it will also develop a new pattern of you doing that particular task. So as most of you might have heard about the Murphy's laws, that if you think something will go wrong, it will. Or at the same time, if you have read books like Secret, they tell you whatever you put out in the universe, it comes back to you. It's all true. We are doing a scientific workshops on these theories, and it all starts from here. So what your mind tells your body to do, the body does. And if we fool our mind to do what we want us to do, we are the overall winners. So let's get started with these set of exercises. Try to do it with me and then keep getting better. You can just practice these as you're commuting or traveling and things like that. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start off with very simple. So I want you to make 5 with the left hand and 1 with the right hand. Okay, slowly, we can do 1 at a time. Now put 5 over here, close your thumb and fist and make a 1 here. And now we are going to alternate. Again 5 and 1, 5 and 1. Now try to do it a little faster. Now try to do it together. Tough? Come on, I'll give you 20 seconds to try doing the 5 and the 1s. Get, set, go.
You have to say aloud the name of the color in which each of the words on the list is written. Ready? Go. Remember, you have to say aloud the name of the color in which the word is written, not what is written. I guess it isn't that easy to do it. Now, let's name each color in the reverse order. Ready? Go. Did you manage to do it? You can expect it to be a little difficult at first, since this section responsible for text perception and color perception are located in different hemispheres of the brain. Why is this exercise beneficial? Because it helps to prevent Alzheimer's disease by establishing new connections between the hemispheres and improves concentration and attention switching abilities.
Let's try to do this. Now this is fun. So I want you to try to open up the thumb of one hand and the little finger of the other. Now shut this and remove the little finger out. Shut the little finger and remove the thumb out. So let's try to do it together. Ooh, it's going to be tough. You might end up with this. We do not want it. We want the coordination. As you do it, it's going to be tough. But take 20 seconds, take 30 seconds and then try to do it. Come on, let's do it with me. Let me try to. Okay, I hope you're getting it. I hope you're getting it. So, was this tough? If you found it tough, probably try to practice it a little more. You're just getting started. The left brain is just getting activated. Try practicing it. Soon you will get it. Maybe next morning. Once you just let it rest and just think about this movement before you go off to bed. Maybe next morning it will be much easier. That's the power of your imagery. But what this exercise does, it helps establish new patterns between the hemispheres, the left side and the right side that we are talking about. And it also helps you with your attention switching abilities. Now I am involving my body a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just see the hand movement. I want you to tap on your legs. Take this hand here, this hand on your nose. So we've crossed it. Tap again. Now take this hand on the nose and this outer hand on the ear. So this is how the movement goes. Now, if you can do this, we're going to add in a little more element of swing. So we are going to bend our knees a little bit, tap and swing, tap and swing, tap and swing. See, I'm involving my whole body and the coordination. And if you're getting it slow, try to increase the speed and try to do it. Yes, take 20 seconds and try to finish it off. See if you can get it. All right then.
For this exercise, you'll need 2 sheets of paper and 2 pens or pencils. When everything is ready, start trying different geometric shapes with both hands at once. You can also write letters or words, provided the number of characters is the same for each hand. Let's give it a try right now. 10 seconds, let's go. Synchronous writing teaches your brain to handle multiple tasks simultaneously, thus stimulating the activity of both hemispheres.
So, this next exercise, I like to call it, oh my god, I'm hungry. That's just the way I like to remember it, because if I'm identifying something with the movement, it becomes better registered in your brain. So this, you can even do it otherwise. If we do it all the time, you identify a person with a typical scent, or the color of their hair, or the way they move, or the way they smell. So we identify a person like that. So the same thing, if you apply to movements or your day-to-day activities, it will make a lot of difference and it will be easier for you to remember as you have these mnemonics and mental notes of each characterization that you do. So coming back to, oh my god, I'm hungry. So with this, I'm going to take this hand and this is the movement I want you to do. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And the next movement is, I'm hungry. So this goes round and round. It's not touching the stomach. It's just going round and round. So, oh my god, I'm hungry. Oh my god, I'm hungry. Now try to do them simultaneously. Oh my god, I'm hungry. Oh my god. You'll see that the circle would want to move like this. Just try to keep it as close to your stomach as possible and try to just move this up and down. This would also want to move in circle, but that's when you need to control. Just think of one movement, think of what is going to happen, just focus your mind and try to do it. Now switch hands and I'm going to do oh my god with my left hand and I'm hungry with my right. So this is how the movement goes. I'm hungry. Now do it simultaneously. So you might find it's easier to do it on one side as compared to the other side. That's perfectly normal because we've been using one pathway way too much than the other. Now when we're trying to activate it, it becomes challenging but not unobtainable. In fact, it's all the more easy because your brain is hungry to learn new things. And when we are coordinating it with the right side or a movement that my right brain and the left brain is well aware of as far as the technique is concerned, then it's just a matter of application that we wanted to kick in. That's when the activation of your right brain comes into the picture. So don't be wary if you don't get it on the first go. Please try doing it slowly and together you can move ahead later on as you practice. So the next exercise involves a little more smaller intricate movements of the hands, and that is where the maximum sensations are there around your fingertip. So it's a very simple exercise. It requires a certain amount of coordination and a lot of focus. So I'm going to make a star, join one finger to the other finger like this. Now I want you to twiddle your thumbs and your fingers clockwise and anti-clockwise. So I need you to go clockwise here, anti-clockwise here. Now hold this. Now without moving any of the fingers, try pressing everything in here and try to move this finger up and anti-clockwise. Try to maintain a distance between your fingers if possible. second finger clockwise and anti-clockwise. Now here is when it starts getting challenging. And then come back. And let's do the little finger without moving the other fingers apart. And now let's reverse it. From the little finger, I want to come to the middle finger, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Let's try this one, the second finger, clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise and anti-clockwise. If you didn't get, or if you're struggling around these two fingers, no problem. Try to do it, practice it, and you'll get it in no time.
Okay, so try to solve this as fast as possible. Can you spot the mistake? At this point, let me tell you, those of you who got it, very good. But those of you who didn't, the mistake is not in the numbers or the colors, but that the word spot appears twice.
The next exercise requires you to just clasp your thumbs like this. Okay, this is the easier version. I'll show you the tougher one once you've gotten this. So I'm going to clasp my fingers like I'm praying, and I'm going to just get one finger up at a time. So I'm going to get this one up, third ring finger, and I'm going to try to not let the other fingers come up, thumb, thumb, and now reverse it, thumb, thumb, index, middle, ring, little. Try to practice this. If you think this is easy, let's do this. So keep your hands like this, just cross it over, and now clasp the fingers. Now slowly just move it around and get it in. Now from here, we're going to do the exact same thing. Now let's see. Now this is actually a mirror image. So your mind has to rotate and do the work to calculate which finger is first and which finger is last. So a lot of mental work you will know when you see. So let's try getting the little finger up, the ring finger up, the middle finger up, index finger up, thumbs up, thumb. Where did my index finger go? That's gonna happen. Up, in, middle finger, ring finger, ring finger, little finger and little finger. Try to do it and see how it is. Try practicing it. So before we begin all the other exercises, let's try an experiment of how powerful your mind is. Okay, are you ready? So we don't want to do anything. If you can, try to do it in sitting, standing, whatever position. It's just a test to know how powerful your mind or your power of imagination is. Science says that, and the research says, that when you actually do a movement and you imagine doing that movement, the areas of the brain that are activated are overlapped in either of the cases. So the same area or similar area of the brain are activated when I'm imagining doing a movement and I'm really doing it. So I can use this in a lot of movements where suppose I'm stuck in a yoga posture and I cannot go further. What do? Rather than just pushing and injuring the muscle or straining it too much, what is easier is if you can just, if suppose you're seeing somebody train you, you can very keenly observe the posture that they are doing, the trick movements that they are doing, how each muscle is working. So what I would suggest is just make a note of all of these little things, and when you actually try to do it, before you do the movement, just try to shut your eyes and just imagine yourself doing that movement. So when you actually do it, it's going to have a much better result because you've already given that message to the brain that, hey brain, I want to do this movement, will you help me? And the brain has said, okay, cool, try it out. So when you actually try it, the brain is already familiar with the movement. So it becomes easier. And this is applicable in everything. Whether how many of you are solving a maths problem or some problem and you're stuck somewhere, and then we're like, okay, you know what, let me just forget about it, let me just do something about it and forget about it, or you know, you get hassled by it. But most of us, when we give it up and we come and revisit it the next morning or the next day or after a break, you get the solution. Why? Because your brain at some subconscious level is trying to work out the solution, but maybe your mind sometimes doesn't see the obvious. When you're more aware of something, your brain is constantly working. It's getting sharper and sharper and sharper. Brain is like the same thing as your muscle. If you do not work, it's not going to get stronger. So try to make it work by benefiting you. So this is one way to do it. Imagining any movement. For example, if you are going to have a business meeting, or you have gone and have a very important event or a match, and you are stressed about it. So you have two options. Either you stress about it, or what I usually tell my patients or the players is one very simple trick. So if suppose you have to go to a meeting and you are very scared as to what the end result is going to be. So we are anxious because of the fear of failing, or some fear that you might not be appreciated enough, or it can be any number of things. The best thing is we eliminate that. So either there are two ways to do it. One is let's see the best case scenario. Two is let's see the worst case scenario. Either ways, you get a viewpoint on both the sides and you have a range. This is the worst that can happen. You are prepared to cope up with that. But rather than doing that, what I would prefer is you eliminate the end result by thinking that you have already won or you've already achieved what you wanted to achieve. So, if suppose you're going for a meeting, I'm going to be sitting and I'm tossing and turning and I'm getting anxious. Rather than that, imagine that the meeting is over. You've had a grand celebration because you've done such a good work. You are celebrating, your colleagues are celebrating, your family is celebrating, everyone's really happy. And then start to walk back, start to come back. So you have this glorious victory that you have made larger than life, which is what we want. And then you start coming back. And when you start coming back, all of those insecurities or those problems that you thought you couldn't overcome, you will find solutions to overcome those because you are walking backwards. So when I'm talking about winning or achieving a goal, you are scared of those insecurities stopping you. Or what if this happened and what if that happens? So once I've already won, my mind already puts these pathways and connects these pathways to figure out how to get this work done. Whatever work you thought was impossible, it's going to get done. So it becomes easy. So even if you don't nail it, you still have activated your brains to work 100 ways about that one problem, which may or may not happen. And that reduces your anxiety all the more. So you figured out what your boss is going to ask, what your question should be, what your weak spots are. When you're walking backwards, you're going to overcome all that because you've already won. Then you come back to what your state of mind would be when you're entering the office or entering the court. Then you come even backwards as to what is your frame of mind, your mood. It should be happy, elated, ready to conquer the world or whatever you want to think. And go back to I'm just sitting in one corner. Now open your eyes and then go and you see how you feel. Because whatever you think happens. There was this experiment which was conducted, but those experiments had water molecules. So people were asked to look at the water molecules with a certain amount of intent. With a hate, one person was asked to look at a water molecule with prayers and good wishes and so on and so forth. And they froze that water droplets in the freezer. When they took it out, the formation of the crystals was very pretty looking crystals and not so pretty looking crystals. So the pretty looking crystals were all the positive thoughts, like your prayers or your nice feeling towards somebody, right? It doesn't have to be, it could be any good feeling. It could be towards your work, it could be towards your partner, it could be towards an art, it could be anything. So when at so much distance, if I'm just imagining and looking at the water molecule, the composition of the crystal changes, then just imagine your body is 70% water. What we want is for you to channelize all those water molecules into making something that you can use the best. And that happens when you imagine. That is the whole idea of imagery. Imagery means to imagine something which will not happen. You can associate it with a physical movement. So, I hope you liked the video and it was helpful to you. We tried to cover as much as possible in the least time as possible, but I really hope this helps. And as I said, try to practice it. These are just a few basic stuff. There's a lot more where this came from, and there's a lot more yet to be discovered. There is mirrors, there is your imagery while working with your thumb, and the list goes on. I hope we can all stay connected, and HSBC has taken a very amazing initiative to let that happen and let people get benefited, not just mentally but physically, because mental health everyone's talking about, physical health everyone's talking about, but no one's talking about how to go about it. This seems to be a relatively easier way and a fun way to get in the zone and be a little stress-free, anxiety-free, and amazing feeling that you have after you've achieved whatever you've thought of is uncomparable to anything else.